Good day everyone. Today we would be going through with you the sanitary and plumbing design. So I am Kirsten Danica Esroa and along with me is Mr. Roden Padua and Mr. John Christian Sabalina. So without further ado, let us start with our discussion.
To begin with, let's define plumbing. Plumbing is the art and technique of installing pipes, fixtures, and other apparatuses in buildings for bringing in the supply liquids, substances, and removing them. It is derived from the Latin word plumbum, which means liquid silver and refers to their lead pipes. It is also a system of pipes and fixtures installed in building for the distribution of use of potable water and the removal of waterborne waste. Here are some practice of plumbing in the Philippines. The birth of plumbing profession in the Philippines is traced back to the 17th century in the walled city known as Intramuros. It was established by the Spanish as a model community. And sometime in 1902, the plumbing trade was duly recognized by the government. Master plumber John F. Haas became the first chief of division of plumbing construction and inspection. A plumbing code based on the plumbing code of the United States was incorporated into the building code for the city of Manila. In 1935, the National Master Plumber Association of the Philippines, or also known as NAMPAP, was organized and registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission. City Ordinance 2411, otherwise known as the Plumbing Code for the City of Manila, was enacted in the consultation with NAMPAP. In 1954, the Third Congress of the Republic Act of the Philippines, in its second session, approved the third reading House Bill No. 962. This became Republic Act No. 1378. In 1955, Republic Act 1378, otherwise known as the Plumbing Law of the Philippines, was signed by President Ramon Magsaysay. The revised Plumbing Code of 1999, which His Excellency President Joseph Ejercito Estrada, approved last December 21, 1999, pursuant to Section 4 of RA 1378, known as the Plumbing Law. Plumbing System. So this system includes all potable water supply and distribution pipes, all plumbing fixtures and traps, all sanitary and storm drainage systems, vent pipes, roof drains, leaders and downspouts, and all building drains and sewers, including the respective joints and connections, devices, receptacles, and appurtenances within the property, water lines in the premises, potable, tap, hot and chilled water piping, potable water treating or using equipment, fuel gas piping, water heaters, and vents for same. So basically, plumbing is any system that conveys fluids for a wide range of application that uses pipes, valves, plumbing fixtures, tanks, and other apparatuses to convey fluids. Plumbing system components. So the first component is water supply and distribution system. This system carries water from the water source, street main, or to the building and to various points on the building at which water is used. In short, this system carries drinking water from a centralized treatment plant or well supplies to consumer taps. These systems consist of pipes, pumps, valves, storage tank, reservoir, meters, fittings, and other hydraulic appurtenances. Next is sanitary drainage and disposal system. This is a system of piping within public or private premises that conveys sewage or other liquid waste to an approved point of disposal. The purpose of the sanitary drainage system is to remove effluent discharge from plumbing fixtures and other equipment to an approved point of disposal. Next, storm drainage system. So this system is a network of structures, channels, and underground pipes that carry stormwater to ponds, lakes, streams, and rivers. The storm drainage system helps prevent flood by diverting rainwater into nearby waterways. So the water and the pollutants flow into the storm drain and through the underground pipes directly into the nearest stream, pond, or water reservoir. Storm drains are separate and distinct from sanitary drainage system. The separation of storm drainage from sanitary drainage system helps prevent sewage treatment plants becoming overwhelmed by infiltration or inflow during a rainstorm, which could discharge untreated sewage into the environment. Next is plumbing fixture. This is device or vessel that is permanently or temporarily installed in a commercial facility, residence, hospitals, schools, etc., and may be connected to the potable water system. Some example of these plumbing fixtures are the bathtubs, bidet, channel drains, drinking fountain, water hose, janitor sinks, kitchen sinks, showers, pipes, faucets, urinals, utility sinks, flush toilets, and many more. Next is fire protection system. These systems are standard building features that either actively or passively help to control the amount of damage that can occur to a building and protect its occupants in the event of fire. A common fire protection system is a smoke detector and a sprinkler. If a fire sparks, smoke sets off the detector, causing the sprinkler system to activate. The water protects against the spread of fire. Lastly, fuel and gas piping system. This system can be a safe and economical choice for space heating, water heating, or process application if designed, installed, and maintained properly. One example of these are some commercial and residential buildings in the US, which nearby natural fuel gas is recovered by drilling wells into underground pockets that contain the gas. This is then piped to the residential and commercial buildings through professionally designed gas piping systems. So the plumbing cycle starts from the source, which is the lakes, rivers, and reservoir. Then to the supply, which is the water mains, storage tank, and etc. To the distribution using pressure piping networks. Then to the use of the households through plumbing fixtures. And then the collection again by gravity and piping networks to the disposal in the sanitary and storm sewers, and then treated in the sewage plants, natural purification, and back to the source, which is the lakes and rivers.
Proceeding with pipes, so pipe is a round, hollow channel used to transport liquids such as water or solid liquid mixtures such as wastewater from one point to the next. So in a building plumbing system, pipes transport hot and cold water and remove liquid and solid waste. So piping in buildings is also used in transporting natural and liquefied petroleum gases, fuel oil, compressed air, refrigerants, and irrigation water. So water pipe generally falls into one of two categories. So the first one is the pressure pipe, which delivers supply water, and the second one is the drain, waste, and vent pipe, or the DWV pipe, which carries waste and soil water away. So both categories are sold in metal and plastic. However, metal or copper in the plumbing systems dominates the pressure category. So plastic and cast iron are the most common piping material for the DWV or the drain, waste, and vent pipe. Okay, so piping materials. So there are many types of piping materials that are most commonly used in building plumbing systems. So the first one is the copper tubing. So copper tubing is traditionally the most popular water supply pipe material. So it is also used in water space heating systems, air conditioning and refrigeration systems, sanitary drainage, natural gas and liquid petroleum gas piping. So the thin walls of copper tubing are usually soldered to fittings. So this allows the pipes and fittings to be set into place before the joints are connected with solder. Copper comes in three types. So we have the type M, the type L, and the type K. So type M is for thin wall pipe, which is used mainly inside homes. Type L is for thicker wall pipe, which is used mainly outside for water services. And lastly, the type K, which is the thickest, is used mainly between water mains and the water meter. So the next one is the polyvinyl chloride or the PVC. So it is a rigid thermoplastic pipe generally approved for use in pressure applications such as cold water supply applications outside the building. So it is generally white or gray in color but can be in other colors. So in the Philippines, PVC, the common color for the PVC is orange or the blue ones. So, chlorinated polyvinyl chloride or the CPVC is a rigid thermoplastic pipe generally approved for use in potable hot and cold water supply, fire suppression sprinkler systems in residences, and in process piping. So PEX is flexible and can be installed with fewer fittings than rigid plumbing systems. So it is a good choice for repiping and for new homes and works well for corrosive water conditions. So PEX stretches to accommodate the expansion of freezing water and then return to its original size when the water thaws. Galvanized steel pipe is covered with a protective coating of zinc that greatly reduces its tendency to corrode and thus extends its life expectancy. So it is moderately corrosion resistant and suitable for mildly acid water. So it was commonly used for water supply, waste and vent lines in plumbing systems through the early 1950s. So it is not frequently used for water supply lines today because the minerals in the water react with the galvanizing material and form scale, which builds up over time and will eventually clog the pipe. So the polybutylene or the PB pipe is a flexible thermoplastic pipe generally approved for use in potable hot and cold water supply applications. So because of several lawsuits tied to this type of pipe, it is no longer recommended for use in building plumbing systems. So the polyethylene or the PE pipe is a flexible thermoplastic pipe. So PE pipe is also approved for use in piping for natural gas and liquefied petroleum gas or the LPG applications, but only when it is directly buried and outside the building foundation. So PE pipe is available for water distribution applications in the following nominal diameters. So 1/2, 3/4, 1, 11 fourth, 11 half, and 2 in diameter. So PE fittings are typically copper alloy or plastic barb insert.
Going to talk about the type of pipe fittings in plumbing design. There are various types of pipe fittings available in plumbing systems for different purposes and functions. A pipe fitting is used in the plumbing system to join multiple pipes of same or different sizes to regulate or measure the flow. Pipe fittings are made of different materials like copper, iron, brass, PVC, or etc. The most common types of pipe fittings are collar, elbow, gasket, union, reducer, T, nipple, trap, cross, and offset. For a building, the plumbing system should be designed in a way that the water is distributed uniformly throughout the day. It should be ensured that the combination of fittings and fixtures are selected in such a way that uniform supply of water and discharge of water is maintained. Now I'm going to talk about the different types of pipe fittings. The first one is collar. This type of fitting is used when joining two pipes in the same length. It is fitted at the end of the pipe. The second one is we call elbow. It is installed at the time of joining two pipes. With the help of an elbow, the direction of fluid is changed. Normally, a 45-degree or 90-degree elbow is used. When two sides of pipes different sizes, an elbow reducing size is used. This is called the reducing type elbow or reducer type elbow. It is installed at the time of joining two pipes. With the help of an elbow, the direction of fluid is changed. Normally, a 45-degree or 90-degree elbow is used. When two sides of pipes different sizes, an elbow reducing size is used. This is called the reducing type elbow or reducer type elbow. There are four elbows are categorized as follows. One is long radius elbows. Here, the radius is 1.5 times the diameter of pipe. The second one is short radius elbows. In this type of elbow, the radius is 1 times the diameter of pipe. The third type is 45-degree elbow. This is used when the change in direction required is 45 degrees. The last type of elbows is what we call the 90-degree elbow. This is used when the change in direction required is 90 degrees. The next type of pipe fitting is gasket. They are mechanical seals generally ring-shaped and fitted for a ceiling flange joints. A flange joint is a plate or ring to form a rim at the end of a pipe when fastened to the pipe. Gaskets are made as per construction, materials, and features. Important gaskets used are non-metallic, spiral wound, and ring joint type. The fourth one is what we call union. When two ends of pipes are joined, the pipe fittings used is called a union. A union is made of three parts, namely a nut, a male, and a female end. The male and female end are assembled with the support of the nuts, and necessary pressure is applied to connect the joint. Since the pairing ends of the union are interchangeable, the union can be changed easily in a short time. Reducer. The next one is reducer. It is used to connect pipes of different diameters. A reducer may be of various types like reducer T, reducer elbow, or reducer socket. The second the next one is what we call T. It is important fitting with a side outlet of 90 degrees to the run of the pipe. These connect pipes of various diameters and help in changing direction of water or material in the pipe. Tees are made in various sizes like equal or unequal. The equal tee is most commonly used. The next type of pipe fitting is nipple. It is a piece of pipe having thread at both sides and could be used for extension of plumbing lines. It is a piece of pipe having thread at both ends. It and could be used for short extension of plumbing lines. It can also be used for connecting two fittings within a small distance. The next one is trap. It is a fitting in a P, U, S, or J-shaped type. Traps are fitted near a plumbing fixture. The trap bend is fitted to prevent sewer gases from entering the building. If the gases are inserted back into home, then it could lead to people inhaling foul smell, which could cause illnesses. It could even explode. The next type of pipe fitting is cross. When four pipes are joined, a cross is formed. It is also called the cross branch line or a four-way fitting. This fitting has three outlets and one inlet. Cross fittings may deteriorate when temperatures change, because cross fitting is made at the center of the four connecting joints. The last one is what we call offset. When an assembly of fittings on a pipeline makes one section of a pipe out of line and parallel to a second section, then it is known as an offset. In this part, I am going to talk about sanitary fittings used in buildings. Sanitary fittings are cleanable tubing connections installed in a systems or process piping to ensure sterility and cleanliness. Like regular fittings, sanitary fittings connect sections of piping systems to regulate the flow of fluid. But sanitary fittings are specially designed and made to prevent the entrapment, formation, and spread of bacteria in the piping system. Sanitary fittings are used in industries that require high levels of hygiene, sterility, and cleanliness. Sanitary fittings are also used in facilities that use potentially dangerous chemicals to minimize safety risk and to ensure that no contamination takes place through the leakage. The role of sanitary fittings is thus paramount in ensuring that safety and hygiene standards are maintained at all times of operation. They ensure that the required levels of hygiene and sterility are maintained during use because they are cleanable. They can be cleaned either by being dismantled and cleaned manually or through an inbuilt clean-in-place or process. Most sanitary fittings are made of stainless steel. Sanitary fittings must be made of sterilizable and corrosion-resistant materials that can withstand frequent exposure to high temperature, pressure, and chemicals. Stainless steel is the most common used material for sanitary fittings. For process piping, with high-grade alloys also sometimes used. Sanitary fittings are typically used as pneumatic or hydraulic fittings to connect sections of pipes, tubes, and hoses as part of the process piping system. In this part, I am going to talk about the common types of sanitary fittings. Sanitary fittings can be further categorized according to connection types, which determines how they are connected to pipes, tubes, or hoses. Here are some of the most common connection types and their functions. Ball and sleeve fittings. Ball and sleeve fittings connect an outer retractable sleeve to an inner ball fitting. Second one is barb fittings. Barb connect hoses and other low-pressure vessels through a barb or ridge adapter that allows a firm grip. The third one is cram and groove coupling or comlock fittings. Comlock fittings are a form of hose fitting that locks the connection when external levers are folded back over the sides of the socket. Comlock fittings are often used in industrial strength applications such as fire hose and sewage pumping systems. The fourth one is compression fittings. Compression fittings are made up of an outer compression nut and an inner compression ferrule or ring. The next is crimp fittings. Crimp fittings create an airtight seal with a metal sleeve or crimp socket that seals off the vessel. Crimp fittings are highly durable and resistant to pressure and temperature. The next is end fittings. End fittings provide specific end surfaces for making connections. Clamp ends are fittings which clamp the vessels to the connection. Plain ends are fittings which connect vessels by adhesive, solder, or other forms. The next one is flange fittings. Flange fittings are methods of connecting pipes, valves, and pumps via an external or internal ridge or rim that adds strength to the systems. Used when the connection requires dismantling, flange are the second most widely used joining method after welding. When applied to connect surfaces, flanges are attached with clamps, bolts, and welding. When used to connect tubes and pipes, flange fittings are attached separately to the vessel ends. Lure locks. Lure taper or lure locks are an industry standard system for small-scale fluid fittings where a male taper fitting is connected into its female counterpart fitting. They are commonly used for short, single-use applications such as syringe and to connect tubes in medical and laboratory applications. The next one is push-on or push-to-connect fittings. Push-on or push-to-connect fittings are designed to connect by pushing a vessel into one end of a connection fitting. They are usually designed with a ring of metal spurs that grips the end of the vessel that is inserted into it. These fittings are suitable for applications that require frequent disconnection and reconnection. Threaded joints or threaded fittings. Threaded fittings are one of the oldest forms of fittings for piping system. They connect vessels using threaded fastenings such as bolts and nuts. The screw heads are made with grooves on their inner or what we call female or outer or male surfaces which connect to matching threads.
Valves. So valves are used to control flow of the water throughout the system. So proper location of valves simplifies repairs to the system, fixtures, or equipment being serviced. So valves also regulate flow to deliver the appropriate quantity of water and reduce the water consumption. So the first type of valve is the gate valve. So the gate valve is a manual valve that has a wedge-shaped leaf that when closed, it seals tightly against two metal seats that are set at slight angles. So this type of valve is usually used where the flow of the water is left either completely open or closed for most of the time. So because the flow of water passes straight through the valve, there is a very little water pressure loss to friction. So the gate valve is not used to regulate flow of water. Instead, it is used to shut off the flow of water such as to fixtures and equipment when repairs or replacement must be made. So globe valves is a manual compression type valve commonly used when there is occasional or periodic use such as in laboratories and hose connections. So this type of valve regulates the flow of water. So design of the globe valve is such that the water passing through is forced to make two 90 degrees turns, which greatly increase the friction loss in this valve compared with the in a gate valve. So check valves is a device that only allows the flow of fluids in one direction. So they have two ports, one as an inlet for the media and one as the output for the media. Since they only allow media flow in one direction, so they are commonly referred to as the one-way valves or the non-return valves. So the main purpose of a check valve is to prevent backflow in the system. So angle valve is a manual valve similar in operation to the globe valve, utilizing the same principle of compressing a washer against a metal seat to cut the flow of water. So it is commonly used for outside hose bibs. So foot valves is a special type of check valve installed at the end of a suction pipe or below the jet in a well to prevent backflow and loss of prime. So the valve should be of good quality and cause little friction loss. A plumbing fixture is an approved receptacle device or appliance that uses water and discharges wastewater such as a water closet, urinal, faucet, shower, dishwasher, drinking fountain, and etc. So they must be made of dense, durable, non-absorbent materials with smooth, impermeable surfaces. So plumbing fixtures are the only part of the plumbing system that the owners or occupants of the building will see regularly because most of the plumbing piping is concealed in walls and floors. So the first plumbing fixture is the water closets or the toilets. So a water closet is a plumbing fixture that serves as an indoor receptacle and removal system for human waste. So although this type of fixture is commonly called a toilet or commode, the building code specifically refers to it as a water closet. So water closets are typically made of solid vitrified china cast with an integral built-in trap. So vitreous china is a type of pottery that is a compound of ceramic materials that are most commonly used for plumbing fixtures such as toilets. Bathtub is a large container that is filled with warm or hot water and allows a person to bathe fully immersed in the water. So, modern bathtubs are made from fiberglass and acrylic, but more expensive and often more durable baths are made from enamel, cast iron, steel, and from opulent waterproof wood. So, the bathtub is commonly found in bathroom and often has a shower attachment that allows the person to stand in the bath and take shower, thus giving the common bath more versatility. So bidet are personal hygiene plumbing fixture used for genital and perineal cleanliness. So it is typically used after using the water closet. So equipped with the valves for hot and cold water, the inside walls of the bowl are washed the same way as a standard toilet. So the bidet is not designed or intended to carry away solid human waste. So it is installed alongside the water closet. So the user sits on the fixture facing the wall and is cleansed by a rinsing spray. So bidet are available in vitreous china. Drinking fountains and water coolers. So drinking fountains offer users a limitless supply of drinking water at any location where water and sanitary drainage are readily available. So water coolers can deliver 8 gallons per hour or is equivalent to 30 liters per hour or more of chilled drinking water. So they require connections to power, water, and drainage. So drinking fountains and water coolers are available in wall-mounted and floor units. So drinking fountains and water coolers should not be installed in public restrooms. Lavatories. So a lavatory is a bathroom basin or sink used for personal hygiene. So lavatories are generally available in vitreous china or enameled iron, or they may be in cast in plastic or a plastic compound with the basin an integral part of the countertop. So sinks. So kitchen sinks are most commonly made of enameled cast iron or stainless steel. So sinks are usually available in a single or double bowl arrangement. So some even have a third bowl which is much smaller. So a utility or service sink has a deep fixed basin that is supplied with hot and cold water and is used for rinsing mops and disposing cleaning water. So they are often called slop sinks or mop sinks. So these sinks are made of enameled cast iron or vitreous china. Showers. A shower head is an overhead nozzle that sprays water down on the bather. So shower fittings may be placed over bathtubs instead of having a separate shower space. So this is commonly done in residences, apartments, and motels. However, it is important that when a shower head is used with a bathtub fixture, the walls should be constructed of an impervious material such as ceramic tile. Urinals are plumbing fixtures that are commonly used in public restrooms, where it is desirable to reduce possible contamination of the water closet seats. So they are commonly available in vitreous china and sometimes in enameled iron. So they are also available in stainless steel for high vandalism installations. So floor and throne type urinals are no longer allowed in the new construction.
So right now, guys, I'm going to talk about joining methods. With all the different piping materials out there, there are also a lot of methods made along the way. Common joining methods include adhesive bonding, brazing, flange, grooved, heat fusion weld, mechanical, press, solder, threaded, or welding. And proper joining methods leave the lines melted together without leaks. And then choosing the right approach has many variables. The most common joining methods that we have here for our plumbing is that one includes threaded and one is slab type fittings, soldered. Also, we have brazed and weld, and then the last would be saddle fusion. One of the most common joining methods is threaded. If you have a low pressure system, using a simple threaded joining method is best. One component has internal threads, while the connecting pipe has external threads. All manner of piping is available with threads, including PVC, copper, cast iron, and GI pipes. And then this joining method works only with low pressure and low temperature flows. Higher temperature and pressure could cause the joints to expand and leak. The second one is lab type fittings. These coupling methods are used for pipe diameters with a 2-inch or smaller diameter. While there are other several types of slab fittings, they all have a similar design that includes an elastomer seal, a gripping device for effective pressure sealing, and a self-contained stiffener. With a slide fitting, the union between pipe ends is stronger than the pipe itself, making it ideal for polyethylene pipes, especially heating, ventilation, and air conditioning applications. The third most common type of joining method is soldered. One of the most common types of pipe joining methods is the heat fusion. There are other several ways to fuse heat, with soldering being one of the first choices for many plumbers. Solder melts using temperatures below 840 degrees Celsius. And then these pipes joining methods is used for pipes used at a low temperature, such as home water lines. The fourth one is going to be brazed. Brazing is the second type of heat fusion. This heating method differs from soldering by using temperatures above 840 degrees Celsius to melt the filler material. Like soldering, workers typically use brazing methods on copper or copper alloy pipes. The filler material used to seal the connection between the two pipes often consists mainly of tin. However, since tin is a weaker material, it is combined together with the copper, bismuth, silver, or nickel to strengthen the filler and help it maintain structural integrity. The next type of the most common joining method is welded. There are two types of weld. One is butt weld and the other is sock weld. A butt weld is the most common type of pipe joining welding method. Workers use this method to join two pipes of the same diameter. Generally, these joints are the most prevalent in commercial or industrial pipe systems. Joints sealed with a butt weld are not accessible for maintenance as they are a fixed joint. However, these welds provide additional strength in the joint and allow the seal to resist high pressure if sealed with filler only. Welds using an internal backing ring to reduce the amount of filler and lower the overall cost of the project may not tolerate the same pressure and may crack under heavy stress. While welding is used for copper pipes, butt fusion is used for connecting polyethylene and high-density polyethylene pipes. Instead of using a filler to combine the two pipes, workers eat the pipe pieces by holding them against a heated plate until there is a proper melt. Once the melt is achieved, they remove the plate, push the two pipes together, and hold them in place until they cool, forming one solid pipe piece. The second type of joining method is the socket weld. Plumbing experts tend to use a socket weld when they determine that there is a higher chance of leaking from the welded joints. Instead of butting the two pieces together, one portion is inserted into the other and then welded together. This weld works with pipes of two different diameters. Pipelines with the same diameter can also use a socket weld with fittings employed. As with butt welding, socket welds are used with copper or other metal pipes. This method can also be used with high-density polyethylene pipe, which is called a socket fusion. As with butt fusion, the process heats the outer surface of the tube and then of the interior fitting. Once achieving the proper melt on the two surfaces, workers join the parts by inserting the line into the joint. The two pieces solidify together as the surface cool. The last most common type of welding joining method is saddle fusion. While the saddle fusion technique is not technically a weld, it is like the socket and butt fusions performed on high-density polyethylene pipes. Workers use this method to install a saddle fitting into the line seamlessly. As with other fusion methods, both the base of fitting and the surface of the pipeline are melted with the heating plate. Once the appropriate melt occurs, they join the two pipes and then allow them to cool while applying force to solidify the parts. When appropriately performed, each of these pipes joining methods should connect the lines without any leaks. Testing should occur once the joints are connected to ensure a correct seal before the project completion.
Installation of pipes. So there are several things that has to be considered in installing plumbing systems at home, and these are the rough in phase, setting of large plumbing fixtures, linking to the main water supply, finalizing the drain lines, the vent pipes, and lastly is the installation of traps and other small fixtures. So the first one is the rough-in stage. So this is where builders figure out exactly where every single plumbing line in the house is going to go. So they all have to connect into the main drainage line called the stock. All the main drains get installed during this stage, though none of the fixtures are hooked up at this point. So the water supply pipes and toilet flanges also get installed during this part of the process. So the second one is um, during the framing process, but before the walls go in, plumbing contractors may go ahead and install the larger fixtures. So these can include showers, bathtubs, whirlpools, and any other major structural plumbing fixtures. So the larger fixtures have to be set at this point because often the fixtures will be too big or too large to go through the doors once they are all framed up. With the large fixtures in place and the rough-in is done, it's time to start hooking up the main water supply line for the house. So the main pressurized line will enter the house in the ground, and from there it will split into two lines. One that supplies cold water for the house and the other that runs to the water heater. While the main supply brings water into the house, the drainage pipes take the water and other liquid waste back out of the house. So the main drain, called the vent and soil stock, is usually 4 inches in diameter and runs from the ground floor to the roof line. So every waste drain in the house connects to this main vent and soil stock. So once all the drain lines are hooked into the vent and soil stock, the stock directs waste down towards the primary sewer drain. So this drain exits the house, and from there it ties into a septic system or to the municipal sewer lines. All vent pipes are then generally connected to the stock, allowing ventilation through the main stock vent. So sometimes separate vents must exit the home separately if the house's layout does not allow for easy connection. The last step is once all the other components of the system are installed and the finishing work is in progress, it's time to install the traps and other small fixtures. So traps are small U-benzene pipes and that retain a small amount of water at all times. So this keeps the sewer gases from backing up into the house. So also in this final step, all the other small fixtures are installed and as well as the additional fixtures. And that's it for sanitary and plumbing design.